I realize that the thing that I love about business is the relationships. I love helping people. I love the strategic thinking in business, solving big issues, big problems, coming up with new products, new solutions. It's really hard to do that when you're stuck, bogged down in the grind and the day-to-day. And that's what I was really disliking. But I was also creating that for myself. And, I did a lot of work on myself and my mindset, why I was perceiving myself to be stuck in that situation, because actually no one was putting me there except myself, right?
Welcome to the Entrepreneur Organization Business Podcast. I am your host, Linh Podetti. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing our guest, Sarah Thapa. She is not only an award-winning immigration lawyer, but also the CEO of the Migration Agency, a prominent national immigration firm that provides invaluable support to growing businesses and individuals in pursuit of top-tier migration solutions. Now, in this episode, we delve into Sarah's personal journey, where she candidly discusses the challenges she faced feeling entrapped within her own business and how she skillfully navigated her way to rekindling her passion and joy for her business again. Sarah also offers insights into her personal experience of working alongside her husband within the same business. Well, please join me in welcoming Sarah. Thank you so much, Sarah. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's so good to be here, Lynn.
It's been hard to get hold of you. You're a busy woman, flying, traveling everywhere. But really excited to chat with you today because it is a topic that I think a lot of us will experience or have experienced when it comes to running a business for a long time. But before we get into that topic, do you want to share a little bit about how you came about in starting this business and what does this business do?
Okay, sure. So, about 8 years ago, I decided to take the plunge and leave my cushy corporate job and start this business. So my first business was the Migration Agency. So we're an immigration firm. I created the company to really be at the service of businesses and individuals who wanted to connect. So to help companies access international talent and international talent that wanted to come to Australia. And so over time, I've kind of grown the business. So now we've got 4 companies. We operate under Talent Global Group, and I'm the CEO of the group.
Okay. And so how did you come up with the idea and how has it been in the last 12 months for you and what's changed? What happened?
Yeah. So I came up with the idea for the business as a customer of immigration firms. So, standing in the shoes of the customer, I think that always gives you insight into where the problems are. And so in 2015, I was working as an in-house lawyer. And so I was responsible for engaging lots of different, legal services. And the one where I saw there was a huge lost opportunity was in immigration. So I was working for a multinational company, and it was really hard to engage lawyers that understood beyond the transactional legal work that they were doing how immigration fit into a company, in terms of enabling talent mobility, employee retention, helping companies to grow, scale, acquire new talent. And so I thought, hey, there's an opportunity for me to play a role here to provide more strategic immigration solutions. So that's what we did. So there was a lot of grunt work, I think, to get the business off the ground. I used my network, to acquire clients, small, medium, and large businesses. So we realized that our sweet spot was really working for the business customer, but through that, creating life-changing opportunities for individuals who wouldn't have otherwise had the chance, to secure these great jobs in Australia. So that was all amazing. And, in the last 12 months, we've been growing significantly. So gone from 1 company, as I said, to 4. We've gone from, me starting the company at my dining room table to 40 employees internationally. So we now have offices in Sydney, Philippines, India, Nepal, South Africa, and we're launching US next year. So it's just gone boom. And so that's all been wonderful. And it's been a big shift that, has definitely tested me, but has also become a lot more fulfilling for me. Because what happened about 12 months ago was I realized that as much as I was passionate in the beginning about immigration, that wasn't something that I wanted to do forever. I didn't want to be on the tools. I didn't want to be doing the transactional work. And in fact, that first business that I created, whilst clients loved what we were doing, it wasn't really solving the root cause of the problem. And what our clients really needed was the talent. They needed to know where to find the talent, how to bring the talent to Australia. So as the business evolved, that gave me the opportunity to branch into new areas when I started to realize that I was getting a bit stale just running the legal practice.
So then you then created multiple businesses. And is that when you started to feel like, oh my God, like I am being pulled in different directions and what am I doing?
Yeah.
What was going through your mind at the time?
Yeah. Yes. So definitely I believe that life and also business is cyclical. And I didn't realize that at the time, but it was around the 7-year mark when I'd been running the law firm for 7 years. And we'd set up other businesses and other divisions. I'm actually in business with my husband, and we had other people that were doing other things in the company, but I was still very much stuck in the legal practice. Yeah, I started to notice I was getting demotivated. I was feeling like it wasn't making me happy anymore. I'd just sort of reached the end of the runway in terms of the energy that I had for the company or the part of the company that I was running. And so it was a process to detangle myself out of the day-to-day of the business because, being a lawyer and also being the face of that brand, clients and, partners were always coming to me and wanting me to fix things and do things for them. So it was a journey for me to come up with, firstly, identify that I had really maxed out in terms of, working in the legal practice and being involved in the day-to-day. And when I came to that realization, thinking, okay, well, what else do I want to do? And coming up with a plan to elevate myself out of just being the director of the legal practice and thinking about how can we bring all of our different ventures together and me, play a role that I love to do, for the next 7 years of my business life.
So what is that new role that you like to do? What did you realize about yourself?
Yeah. So I realized that the thing that I love about business is the relationships. I love helping people. I love the strategic thinking in business, solving big issues, big problems, coming up with new products, new solutions. It's really hard to do that when you're stuck, bogged down in the grind and the day-to-day. And that's what I was really disliking. But I was also creating that for myself. And, I did a lot of work on myself and my mindset, why I was perceiving myself to be stuck in that situation, because actually no one was putting me there except myself, right? So it was all on me. And that just blew my mind when I realized that actually it was really within my control to get myself out of that situation.
What were some of those beliefs that you told yourself that kept you there?
Look, I think from a very young age, I've had a hard-working ethic. And so I'm very good at getting things done. We have a saying in our business, some people fit in the Nike club, the just do it kind of people. Nike club person, like I'm a Nike club member. I'm the person that can just get shit done. I can do anything from legal work, marketing, finance, operations, across the whole business. When there are problems, I'm just good at solving them and I'm just good at getting them done. But that doesn't necessarily mean I like it. One of the advisors I brought into my business world last year was an EOS expert. And I implemented that in the business to help with our business growth. And it introduced me to this idea that we have visionary traits and integrator traits, and some people are more visionary and some people are more integrator. A visionary type of person is a big ideas person, whereas an integrator is good at taking those ideas and figuring out, okay, how are we going to get them done? Often people are one or the other, strong, in one and not so strong in another. I am unfortunately good at both, which is a good thing, but it's also a curse because I was getting pulled into executing on things just because I could. And I'd done that from the very beginning. That's how I started the company in the first place, to still doing that, 7 or 8 years in. I was like, no, I don't want to be doing this. And I'd lost my creativity and I'd lost my ability to connect to the bigger picture and the future of the company. So just going back to your question about what beliefs did I have, I think I had this belief that I had to work hard. This was going to be the ticket to me, growing the business. just being available all the time to help other people, coaching and mentoring and training. So I was just stretching myself in so many different directions, thinking that that's what was required. But actually, the very thing that limits a company's potential, I think, is the limiting beliefs of its founder, because that sets the benchmark against which a company performs. So the biggest thing holding us back was me. And I need to work on unpacking those beliefs that were limiting me and therefore limiting the company and shift out of them. I call it a period of reinvention, reinventing myself to be the person that I need to be to take, my life, but also the business forward for the next, 7-8 year cycle. Yeah.
And so how many staff would you have had at that time that even though you had a business with staff, but you were still stuck? But how many staff did you have and why were you still so caught up even though you've got the staff?
When I started to go through this process of working on myself as a leader and just as a human being, look, I would have had, 20 to 25 employees in Australia and overseas, always trying to find ways to improve the business, work more efficiently and so on. But the buck always stopped with me. And I didn't have a strong management team. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs can identify with the fact that it's actually hard to find good talent. We're even in the business of talent and helping companies source talent. And even we, that's probably one of the biggest pain points in any business, including ours. So I'd gone through ups and downs, hiring managers, they didn't work out, then starting all over again. And ultimately, the custodian of the company and our value proposition, what we stood for, what kind of service we wanted to deliver to customers, just for some reason just kept falling on me. So not having the right people, I think, was probably one of the biggest challenges. And but that's shifted since I worked on myself, and B, started to just, really invested a lot. We always have, but kept investing in company culture, doing things in a way that made us a magnet for people to want to come and work with us. And then that really helped flip that switch to get me out of the day-to-day. Yeah.
You're right. I mean, people are unpredictable. Yeah, when it comes to hiring, it's hit and miss. In terms of the managers that you've hired now, like, is it working well in terms of like the structure? Have they been able to free you up from being caught up in the business?
I pinch myself now at the quality, the caliber of the people that I have around me on the leadership team. So about 3 years ago, we started our second company, and then we've added additional companies along the way. And we're now in the process of bringing it all together. So we had leaders in different companies, but still very much dependent upon the founder director to kind of, get it moving. Now we're very clear in our intention to bring all of our different product lines together as a sort of end-to-end full service solution under Talent Global Group. And that's enabled us, our leaders have really bought into the vision of what we exist to do. That's been a big tick. And also elevating the leadership team at a group level has created great synergies. So it's enabled us to be able to bring on board some amazing talent now that we're clear about our structure and the direction that we're going as a business. So so the people that we're hiring now, I couldn't have even dreamed of hiring this kind of, team 5 years ago. We weren't a known brand, not to this extent anyway. And we weren't able to attract that kind of talent. So I think elevating our brand has really helped us actually to find great people to join our leadership team.
Okay, so you raise a really good point. So you're saying that in order to attract these people, you also needed to become that company that these people wanted to do. So
right.
Some of the ways that you've attracted these managers, like were they just purely from job posting or was it referrals? Yeah, how did you manage to hire them?
Our best talent we find through great people that we know. So it's really hard to find people through a job ad. It's all about networks. So, on our leadership team, we do have some that we have, maybe headhunted or, we've had recruiters help us find, but also people from our networks. So, people that I've known from my past life, working in corporate who have seen the journey that I've been on and have really been keen to get involved. And we've had people leave big jobs in corporate and go, I want to be part of a scaling company. So, people with incredible experience who are maybe even willing to take a pay cut and, get back into the nitty gritty. We don't have the big teams and the big budgets that they might have had before, but they're just excited about what we're doing and are willing to get on board. But your networks is the most important thing, really, and leveraging the people that we have internally, like our own team, to open up their networks to us. I think that's probably the best thing that we can do to fill our vacancies. Yeah.
I agree. I think it's one of the best ways. It's a natural, organic way. But out there searching, even in dating. I remember being on a dating app, and I'm like, I don't know. There's a false. It's just when it happened naturally, it was a better one.
Yeah, it's so true. And also, we reward our team generously when they introduce their networks to us. I would much rather give a generous bonus to someone in my team to go and do something amazing in their life, something that they really want to do or are passionate about, rather than pay a fee to an external provider that probably doesn't even really care about our business. For them, it's just billing. Where someone in my team, that's a huge perk for them to get a bonus, a referral bonus. So and different team members are motivated by different things. But I think the opportunity to work with other people that we know are great, bring on board the wrong people. And secondly, giving those opportunities to team members to get those referrals, that's been great for us. Yeah.
Okay, so what are some of the day-to-day roles that you do nowadays? And you're not stuck in it anymore. You look like you're a lot happier. What are some of those examples, things that you're doing as a new CEO? Or if you're called as a CEO, or what's your title now?
Yeah. So, look, we're in the process of launching our group brand. And this is a little bit, it's not quite on the press yet, exactly what my title is in the group. But yes, I'll be leading the group once we make some announcements around that. So the things that I do, I mentor the leadership team. I'm focused more on the future. So a big part of my time is now spent on business transformation, innovation, how we want to propel our business forward. Another key part of my role, which I love, is the strategic alliances and partnerships. So I have been doing a lot of travel lately, going to different markets and forming partnerships with some other incredible organizations that will really help open up some channels for us to source talent for our clients.
Yeah.
Also just doing things that develop my skills. So, I'm a member of EO and I have been for 3 years, but in the last 12 months, now that I've kind of shifted my thinking, I've just started to open up a lot more to some of these, networks and professional development, opportunities and learning that I can be doing to improve myself. And that has been absolutely amazing. And, I used to look at my calendar at the start of the week and feel quite deflated because every single minute was micro scheduled. Now I've actually got freedom. I've got space. I've got stuff being done by other people and I can have a nice morning. I call it a clarity break. That's an EOS terminology for taking time out of your business and thinking about the business and working on the business. I do that every week. I couldn't have imagined doing that 5 years ago. So that's how I spend my time, is thinking, creating, engaging, building relationships. That's the stuff that I love. Yeah.
Congratulations. So has husband's role changed ever since as well? Has he gone through some sort of, transformation?
Yeah, it's definitely, running a business is definitely transformative every day. And we have reached a point now, working together for 3 years, that we've found a good group and we understand each other's strengths and how to play to that. And I think that's actually really important for couples who work together, to have a good definition of what you should be doing and not doing, right? Because my role with him in business is very different than my role in our household and in, our marriage. So I'm sure we didn't do that very well in the beginning. We were kind of, clumsily trying to figure all of that out. And I think we've both grown into our roles now. So the things that my husband is, excellent at and different to the things that I'm good at. So playing to our strengths. So he's very good at, he's got quite a futurist, well, that's his talent, I think, is, thinking about new opportunities, and very good at sales. So he's a bit of a rainmaker. He goes and meets, comes back with all this new business. So that's fantastic. And obviously he's got a HR background. So he focuses a lot on the recruitment side of the business and the talent sourcing side of the business. So yeah, it's really good. And yeah, he's had to evolve too in the last few years, but it's actually been great for us. When I was the entrepreneur and he was working for a company, it's hard to understand what it's like running a business. Whereas now he's in the trenches too, running a business, and so he gets it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, which is really
good. It's good that you've got the different roles and responsibilities. And I feel like if I was to work with my husband, one of the challenges I'll probably have is communication, because
yeah,
basically wouldn't know how to communicate in a respectful way like a colleague. So what tips do you have around communication? Like, what are some rules or hacks that you have around that when you're working with someone close, like a family member or a partner?
Yeah. I think having good communication between yourselves is really important, because if that's not healthy, then what plays out in front of the rest of the team is also not going to be healthy. In fact, it's going to be amplified, right? So you really have to work on your business. You have to have a really healthy relationship, I think, to be able to work well with each other. And I'll be very honest, in the early days, we were in separate offices. I was very clear that I wanted to be, having my work life and my home life completely separated. And it took me a while to really open up my mind to the idea of bringing all of our companies together, because I was worried about how that would play out in our relationship. But now I think we are in a really good space to be doing it. So the timing's perfect, actually, for, the direction that we're going. Yes. But definitely, respect, integrity is really important. So knowing what's appropriate to say when and where. I have to say it was a little bit awkward when I had to start calling him by his first name. In a meeting, you can't say, "Hey, babe." You have to use a formal name. So it's a bit weird initially, but you just have to draw those mental distinctions with each other. And, we've just had to work it out along the way. Often we would have meetings, and afterwards, we'd have a chat about it afterwards, and I'd explain what I took away from the meeting, and he'd say what he took away from a meeting, particularly if I noticed a little bit of the husband and wife stuff creeping in to the conversation. Like, "Oh, yeah, Sarah, can you just take the notes in this meeting?" I'm like, "No, why would I take the notes? I mean, you could take the notes, or, someone else could take the notes." I'm like, I do all that in our household, but not in a company area work environment. It's a different type of relationship. So some of these things subconsciously, if they popped up, have to nip it in the bud and
So it's really, you can't stop it, but you're aware, and then you kind of minimize it, and you kind of,
yeah.
So what would you say in terms of your leadership style? Like, what are you like as a leader versus your husband?
Yeah, my style, I actually really enjoy leadership, and I really enjoy coaching and mentoring and seeing my team develop. And I think I'm good at helping people kind of understand what's required, where we're going. I can be big picture, but I can also be granular. I think that helps. And I'm pretty patient. I'm quite a caring, empathetic person as a leader. My husband, on the other hand, he's pretty fast-paced. Can be hard for people to keep up with, because he's such a visionary. All these ideas are popping all over the place. And we have a little joke, it can create whiplash, because people are getting pulled in 100 different directions. And what we've realized is that people leadership is not something that, either he wants to do or that he's particularly, sounds weird to say particularly good at, but yeah, that's not his thing. However, if you want to, he's very good at taking people on the journey and rallying people around the vision. So a really good person to give a little talk at a company event and say, this is where we're going, this is what the contribution you're making, and people get really inspired by the things that he says because of his storytelling capabilities. So yeah, he's got gifts in some areas and I've got my strengths in others. Getting clear about that, gosh, that was, really, really great for us to get to that so that we're both doing what we love and not treading on each other's toes.
Oh, that is so cute. Yeah, I can already see how fun it is to work with your partner because you guys have, there's just so much passion in what you do as well as understanding and kind of accepting each other's differences. So yeah, it's really inspiring.
Yeah.
I guess this leads me to my last question because I could sit here all day talking to you. But I usually like to ask, ultimately, what do you want to leave in the world or what do you want people to remember you for?
I would love to be known for being someone who reduced the barriers for people to realize their potential in life. And I have always had a very strong social justice driver, very passionate about equality, equity, inclusion. Why? Because, from a young age, if I saw racism, for example, or someone being discriminated against or someone being bullied, really impacted me. It's almost like my life's work, my life's mission is what I do in my company, which is to, bring down barriers and create opportunities for people. And, a lot of what I do is advocating for people that we help, bring to Australia and, changing mindsets of companies to think differently about how they engage with international talent. And there's a lot of psychology and a lot of strategy that goes into what we do. We're not just like transactional, sending people here or there. And so I really hope that, people look back and think, oh yeah, Sarah created a life-changing opportunity for me. And, that we've used our business as a vehicle for doing something meaningful in our lives. And then I think I'll be, really happy with that.
That's beautiful. And of course, I can resonate with that because, I too try to create jobs, but even though it's remote, I don't bring them here. Just to refresh everyone. So what kind of talent do you hire? Like what roles and in what countries are you currently hiring? Or are you open to any country?
Yeah, so we've got a few different ways that we connect businesses to talent. So one is the traditional, well, it's actually not that traditional. I think companies are only just really starting to open their minds to hiring offshore now. COVID's been a great catalyst for that too. But yep, we can help bring talent to Australia, or sometimes we help source talent overseas and they don't need to bring them to Australia. Remote work and hybrid work enable that to happen. So that's amazing. So the immigration business, we cater to all industries. The recruitment or international talent sourcing business, it does specialize in certain areas of critical shortage. So we work in the healthcare space, so allied health and primary health care. And I feel like that's making a really meaningful contribution to our country, where there are shortages and people can't access the healthcare that they need to have a good quality of life.
Yes.
So that's important. We work in the engineering and trades space and technology. So those are the areas that business works in. We don't try and be everything to everybody. Benefit of the talent sourcing business is its focus. So niching really into those areas to, go very deep in identifying where the talent is globally. The availability of talent, it really depends on the skill set. That's why we've got teams in those strategic locations. So Philippines caters to APAC, India and Nepal to the subcontinent, South Africa to Africa, Middle East and Europe. And then, we'll be setting up next year a location for the Americas. I'm not 100% sure where yet. So that, we can help our clients to connect to wherever the talent is. And because the immigration business has such good insight into where the talent is available, we see all the moves in and out of our clients. So we've been able to leverage those insights and that data to help inform where we can source from and which countries skills are transferable from into Australia. That's been quite key, actually. That's why we've really recognized that they work so hand in glove. So yeah, there's so many opportunities to hire from overseas. It's really just unlocking some of those.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely have all of your details below. It's an area that I think people are more open now, especially after it. But yeah, I love your mission. It's about great choose people all around the world. But thank you so much, Sarah, for your time today. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you so much.